So over the past week, I've really been reflecting on frugality and how important it is to understand the resources God has given me. And really what that means is on a daily basis, thinking of the cost of those decisions that I make when buying things, right? And so there have been multiple times this week where I've thought and paused and said, is this really what God wants me to be doing with the resources he's given me? And said no. And realizing that saying yes to something is actually saying no to something else, right? There's an opportunity cost if I say yes to buying this item. And I think that that's brought more awareness where there's definitely been seasons where I haven't thought about that. And it's really been on the back burner. It's like, what do I want to buy, right? What do I want to do with my hard-earned money? And so really this past week has been a good kind of getting back to really what does God want me to be doing with the resources that he's given me. So, earlier in life, when I would get money, I would just live paycheck to paycheck. I would just spend it. I'd say, oh, you know what? I want to go out on the weekends, or I want to buy this thing. And so I really didn't think about, how the long-term effects of my buying decisions. And because of that, I racked up a ton of debt and eventually got married, and my wife had debt. And so we realized, gosh, this debt and just all of the decisions that we made it feels restrictive, right? Because we have these things that we have to pay for, but not a lot of money to do it with. And so we developed a plan, and we're able to, by the grace of God, pay off all of our debt, $52,000 in 18 months, which was super just exciting to be able to get that debt behind us and realize that hey, if we're able to be better stewards of our money, we have more freedom because we're able to do more, we're able to give more, just because we were able to live in this season of really intense focus on how we spent our money. So one of the things I realized, and I think it was through a Crown Ministries book, just talking about how God owns everything, right? And I acted for a long time as if I owned everything that I had, right? And by having that mentality, I did things very differently, and just not in a way that was the best way and use of those resources. So really realizing that God owns everything, that I don't own anything, has really changed my perspective on money, how I give, what I do with the resources that I get, and realizing that it's not Deacon's money, it's God's money that he's entrusted to me, and to use it wisely. And so that's drastically changed my relationship with money as well as my relationship with God. Yeah, I'd encourage anybody who hasn't really practiced frugality or spent much time counting the cost really to do it, because of the freedom that follows and just the closeness with God that you can have by saying, hey, I'm going to deny myself the things of this world and really kind of put God at the center and say, hey, God, what do you want me to do with these resources? And the reality is for me, I found that I made very different choices, and God really honored and blessed that pursuit. So I encourage anybody that's considering it to give it a try and say, God, what do you want me to do with the resources that you've given me?